What's up, guys, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking, and hopefully you like and subscribe by the end of the video. But it's your boy D Sweatshirt. We're gonna be talking about something that I am very passionate about. But besides that, let's get into it. There are going to be spoilers for this video for the Netflix Avatar: The Last Airbender series if you haven't seen it. Also part of the cartoon series and the comic books that were made a little bit after that. So let's get right into it. I am a huge Avatar: The Last Airbender fan. I consistently go back and rewatch that show. I've probably seen it like over 20 times by now, just because I'll put it on in the background or I'll actually sit down and rewatch it again. So when this show was announced and brought to my attention, I was very excited, especially due to the poor reception of the M. Night Shyamalan one, where he doesn't even know Aang's name.
My name is Aang, and I'm the Avatar.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But besides that, when the show was announced, I was really excited, especially with the main writers coming back for the show, the creators of the OG series coming back. And then anything I heard about the show, whether it was pre or post-production, it was very negative. When the writers left the show, I was definitely shocked, and that was the first sign for me that kind of showed that, like, okay, this show probably isn't gonna be what I want it to be. But all in all, the show's okay. It's not that bad. I do feel like there are some major problems with it. And it's mostly because I feel like the writers of the Netflix show didn't necessarily enjoy the source material as much as they probably should have to be writing a remake of this. Or a version of this, I guess, because it's not a remake, they're changing a lot of things. I want to preface this off by saying I am not a critic. I am just someone who enjoys watching television and movies. And when I sat down to watch this, well, at first when I sat down to watch the trailer got me super hyped. The bending looks amazing in the trailer, and in the show, the bending is just as amazing as it is in the trailer, which is awesome, which is a big change from the M. Night Shyamalan one, obviously, with the Airbender, or the Earthbenders, 6 or 7 of them doing and then, you know, moving a pebble that I could probably pick up by myself and throw. But besides that, I liked the CGI on Appa and Momo. There were aspects of the show that were very enjoyable, and I will die on that hill. But the only thing that kind of connected it to the original series was a lot of fan service. I felt like instead of using their time to develop a plot or develop the story or develop characters, they used it to just input fan service. Like the episode where they go into the spirit world and there's the owl, which is the spirit of knowledge. I forget his name. But spirit of knowledge is there kind of just to say what's up. And then it kind of tells them stay on the path and then disappears. Like, there was no point in that. The face stealer storyline, it didn't really move me at all, to be honest. That episode in of itself I didn't really enjoy too much, just because it felt very much like a, hey, all the people that watch the animated show are gonna watch this, so we should put this episode in for them, because we're not gonna write anything that even relates to the source material at all. So that was a big pet peeve of mine. Obviously, when you do fan service right, like when Sokka was just like, oh yeah, you can name the dog Mr. Pippin Papalopicus or whatever it is, the third, or whatever it is. Yeah, like that's fine, that's whatever. I'm not gonna be too picky on that. But when it comes to like just shoehorning it in there just because you think people want to see it, I just feel like it's lazy writing, and unfortunately that was really what I feel like bogged down the show. They didn't use their time right. I get it, it's less episodes than the OG animated show, but you also got to look at it as the animated show had, what, like 20 episodes, 20 minutes long each, and this one had, I want to say, like 10 episodes, which were about an hour long each, so really the screen time is about the same that you're getting. I just feel like they didn't use the time well, besides on like the characters of Zuko and Sokka. Like, the other characters in the show don't feel like how they should feel, you know? The actor that plays Sokka is very much Sokka. The actor that plays Zuko, I love all of his sassiness, like his little, you saw a flying bison, or whatever he said.
So someone saw ice in a place where no ice should exist?
Like with his neck. Like, I thought that was hilarious. I thought that actor did a great job with Zuko. But all the other characters, they kind of just feel like boring. Aang is not what he was in the show. Like, Aang's character, he's so like headstrong, which I guess is cool. He, in the animated show, he's actively running away from being the Avatar because he wants to be a kid. He just wants to have fun. In the real life show, he's more mature and he's just like, yeah, I need to go save the Northern Water Tribe, you know? I felt like that was a key part of Aang's character that was kind of just glossed over. And again, I think it's because the writers came out and said something about wanting to make the show more Game of Thronesy, which is so stupid because they wanted to make it more adult, but the show was made, or was rated PG. So the show is made for kids. Why don't you just make it a kid show? I'm not gonna get too much into that. I do feel like there was times where like I was watching it and I was like, hey, these episodes are great. Like the fight between Zuko and Aang in the Earth Kingdom City. Oh, the fight between Zuko and Aang in Omashu. Honestly, that whole Omashu episode, the first and second episode, I guess, I did really enjoy, because there's 2 episodes there. But again, I feel like putting 2 episodes in Omashu kind of like doesn't help with the timing of the writing either. But they still did it. Even though those were like my 2 favorite episodes of the show, to be honest, because when they brought out when they went to Omashu, like, you get a fight between Zuko and Aang where it feels like you're watching the cartoon again. Like, Zuko is chasing Aang hard and Aang is just making him look stupid. And he's like, hey man, why are you coming after me? Like, and he's just dodging him, and Zuko's like putting all that effort into it. He's like, stay and fight. And Aang's just like, nah, I'm cool off that. So I felt like that was probably the part of the show where I was like, hey, this feels like Avatar: The Last Airbender. But besides that, like, everything kind of just fell flat. Like, even Katara's character, to an extent, like, the writing on her was horrible. She doesn't waterbend all season, and then out of nowhere she's just like, I'm my own master. And she's just so good at waterbending, and like, I don't have a problem with her being her own master. I thought that was a pretty good touch that they added, because Katara is practically her own master in the animated show, but it's just, she works with, I think Master Paku is the name of the dude. Like, that's technically her master in the show, even though like she's only with him for like a day or 2. But I do like the idea that Katara being her own waterbending master. I don't like the idea that she couldn't bend at all, and she couldn't waterbend at all in the beginning of the show, but then out of nowhere, where like we don't even see her, we practically barely see her bend, and she's just goated. like she's throwing the ice spears and the ice discs, and she's beating the master in his own game. And you know, that's cool and all, and I guess that's a little nitpicky, but like, throughout the entire show, there was barely any waterbending. Aang doesn't waterbend at all, and this is the Book of Water. He's supposed to learn waterbending at some point in this season, and he never waterbends. The only time he touches water is when he's having a splashing fight with Katara, who doesn't even waterbend during that fight. She just splashes him. Yeah, it's just, you know, I felt like the writers didn't put as much effort into it. as they probably should have when it came to writing out a story. I felt like they brought in a lot of fan service, and that might have been the studio. The studio might have told them to put in a bunch of fan servicey pieces that they didn't want to put in, and unfortunately, it bogged down the writing a lot. And unfortunately, like, going into season 2, I'm not excited because they're not going to have all those fan servicey things to use to kind of hide behind the poor writing. They're actually going to have to write a good story, and I'm not excited with the way that they're going to bring in Toph, to be honest with you. They didn't prove to me that I should be excited for something like that. On top of all of that, apparently they're talking about having Ozai have a descent into madness, which again is also stupid because he's already crazy. Like, he should already be at that point of being in his madness. In the comic books, he kills his father to become a Fire Lord because his father wasn't going to give him the title. He was going to give it to Iroh. Like, Ozai is a bad person. We don't need a redemption arc for Ozai. We don't need to see Ozai go from being this quote-unquote loving father to, like, being a crazy Fire Lord. He is the Fire Lord. He's the big bad. I don't need to see him be good. And them talking about creating a descent into madness for Ozai is just befuddles me. Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's just parts of this show that I don't enjoy due to the fact that it seems like the writers didn't like the source material. And the crazy part is, like, Netflix has shown you that if you choose a writer and a director that truly loves the source material of something, that they can make a great live action show with the One Piece show. That man loves One Piece, and you can tell when he's writing the show, he actually enjoys and respects the source material. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, it seems like they kind of just watched the source material to get a semi-idea of what was going on and create their own thing. So, I don't know how the second and third season of Avatar: The Last Airbender is going to go. It's already been renewed for season 2 and 3. I'm hoping that it gets better, but I'm going to be honest with you, I do not have my hopes up high. Alright, thank you guys. I wanted to take a little bit of time at the end of the video just to touch on a couple of things that I didn't really talk about in the video. I didn't think that I needed to hear about Iroh's son dying so early. I felt like that added to the fan servicey thing, and if I'm not mistaken, that's actually in the same episode as the Spirit World one, but I think I might be wrong. I think that might actually be one of the Omashu episodes, now that I'm thinking really hard about it. But either way, I still felt like it was way too fan servicey. Like, they did that just to be like, hey, I know that fans want to see this, so let's just put this in here. Or fans are always talking about this on social media, so let's put this in here. But besides all that, like, I did like the addition of Zuko's crew being the crew that he ended up saving in the flashback when Ozai was going to send them to their deaths. And Zuko was like, that's wrong. When he got banished, he was taken with the crew, which was pretty cool. I didn't expect like that change to happen, and it was a really cool reveal in my opinion. But besides that, like, I feel like I've been a little hard on the show. If you haven't watched the live action show and you were a fan of the animated ones, I would suggest watching the live action. The bending looks really cool, and I feel like it kind of carries the show, which is like good enough for the first season. Also, as I am editing this, apparently the main show writer is stepping down. So after I said I wasn't interested in the next season, now I have a little bit of hope. So I guess we'll see how season 2 and season 3 are with the new team that they're bringing back in. But yeah, deuces.